All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Steven A. Gardner is presiding.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good afternoon, folks. Let's start with Bonneville County case number CR 10-20-91-29, State of Idaho versus Westley Hightower. Mr. Thomas is in court on behalf of the defendant, I presume.
That's correct.
And Mr. Hightower joins us by virtue of the video conference from the Bonneville County Jail. So, first of all, Mr. Hightower, did you see a video advising you of your rights?
Yes.
And you filled out the notification of rights form, so do you understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
You've been charged in this case with murder in the first degree in violation of Idaho Code 18-4001. Do you understand that charge against you and the possible penalties?
Yes.
All right. Now, Mr. Thomas, have you been formally appointed yet?
Not yet, Your Honor. We would have asked the court to appoint us.
All right. Based upon that request, I'm going to appoint the public defender of Bonneville County to represent Mr. Hightower. Ms. Bean is also here on behalf of the prosecuting attorney's office. So, what are the other matters before the court today?
Your Honor, I anticipated the court would be addressing bond.
Mr. Thomas?
Your Honor, we would ask the court to address the possible penalties. It's currently, the possible penalties are death and life in prison, and a 10-year mandatory minimum. Death is not on the table in this case. It's pursuant to Roper versus Simmons, United States Supreme Court case, Miller versus Alabama, and Kennedy versus Louisiana. The state cannot seek the death penalty on a juvenile in this matter.
All right.
Your Honor, the state fully concurs in that, and just in getting the paperwork out this morning, that death was on the paperwork, so we will not be seeking the death penalty pursuant to that case law.
All right. Will you file an amended complaint then?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That'll be fine. And would you like to be heard on the issue of bond?
Yes, Your
I've
Honor.
already set the bond in the amount of $1 million.
And I hadn't seen that information yet, so I didn't know if the court would be addressing that, so
Yeah,
the state has no
so
further.
that's already been set. Mr. Thomas, do you want to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor, we don't need to address it at this point.
All right. Then, sir, Mr. Hightower, you're being bound over to the district court for a preliminary hearing scheduled for October 13th, 2020 at 1:30. And in the meantime, you're being held on bond. Mr. Thomas is here today. I don't know whether he'll remain with the case.
Most likely not. It'll probably be Mr. Wixon.
All right. And so, but you'll have the services of the public defender of Bonneville County to represent you, sir. So at this point, do you have any questions?
Not particularly.
Okay. All right, you can address those with your attorney then. And with that, that'll be the order of the court for today. And you can be excused, sir. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for your appearance in this meeting.
Thank you, Your Honor.
right, let's next take up the case of State versus Daniel Wood, CR 1020-9130. Mr. Wood joined us by virtue of a video conference from the Bonneville County Jail. And Mr. Thomas, who we're going to appoint the public defender to represent this defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And so, let me just address Mr. Wood. First of all, Mr. Wood, did you see a video advising you of your rights?
Yeah.
And you filled out the notification of rights form, so do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Right, you've been charged in this case, CR 1020-9130, with murder as a principal to murder in the first degree, a felony in violation of Article 18-4001. So do you understand that charge against you and the possible penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, again, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Mr. Thomas is here, but whether or not he will remain on the case is a matter of assignment by the public defender's office. Currently, you're being held on a bond of $750,000, so do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Bean, do you want to be heard on that issue?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Thomas?
Your Honor, not on that issue, but I do have another issue.
Certainly.
Pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 44.3, the court is required at the first appearance to give 2 death penalty counsels if death penalty is a possibility. I talked to the court, or to the state earlier today. They indicated that the death penalty was not going to be offered on this particular case, and I'd just like them to acknowledge that in front of the court.
Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. I was going to bring that up. I don't think we need to file an amended complaint. What we usually do, he is eligible for the death penalty. What we can do is just file a notice of intent not to seek the death penalty, which we'll go ahead and file.
And we're okay with that. We appreciate that.
That'll be fine then. Sir, you're being held on a $750,000 bond. Bonneville County Public Defender's Office or somebody under their direction will be representing you. And your preliminary hearing in the district court is set on October 13, 2020 at 1:30. All right, so counsel, do you have any questions at this point?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Wood, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. That'll be all for today then, and we'll go to the next case. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Please excuse me.
Thank you.